Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Oare and today I wanted to show you a little contraption that's not very popular, but it will serve as a means to show you how I design mob farms. So this contraption is a rabbit farm. The reason why I decided to create a rabbit farm is that on the SMP I'm currently playing on, I decided to settle down in one of the arguably worst biomes in the game, which is snowy plains. So snowy plains, as some of you might know, basically spawn very few mobs, be it hostile or passive. In fact, in terms of passive mobs, there are only two mobs that are spawned in this biome. The first is rabbits and the second is polar bears. So anyways, without further ado, let's begin. In order to create a rabbit farm, which we want to be fully AFKable, the first thing we'll do is look at the JSON files, which are downloadable from Mojang's website. So let's take a look at the rabbit spawning rule JSON file. What this will tell us is what kind of blocks rabbits can spawn on, under which conditions, and in how many numbers, stuff like that. So here on my screen I have highlighted the relevant part from the rabbit JSON spawn rule file, and in the highlighted part of the JSON file we can see that rabbits have a few filters for blocks they are allowed to spawn on. The first is grass, the second is snow, third is sand, and fourth is snow layer, which was added I think in 1.18. The second information that we can gather from this highlighted part is that they have a brightness filter, so we're gonna need light. They can only spawn in a minimum of 7 and will spawn up to the max of 15. Then we have their spawning weight, the number of rabbits that will spawn. They will spawn in herds of 2 or 3, and this information applies in flower forests, groves and snowy slopes, which is I think the former name of snowy plains or the other way around. So we are gonna need either grass or snow because we're in a snowy biome. We're gonna use grass because rabbits that spawn in snowy biomes are white, and it will be easier to spot the rabbits on a green canvas rather than on a white canvas. So let's move on to our Minecraft world and fill an area with grass. Here I'm gonna use commands a lot because it's gonna be faster for the demonstration purposes of this video, but in a survival world you'd need to build this block by block, but fortunately it's gonna be quite small, so it shouldn't take a long time. So let's go ahead and fill this area 16, 64, 16 to 31, 64, 31 with grass. And here we have our area, and normally we should see rabbits spawn on it. And here's our first rabbit, and let's move 23 blocks up from this platform. And we can see more rabbits spawning, and as you can see they're spawning in herds of here 2, and as we saw in the JSON file they could spawn in herds of 3. So here let's kill these rabbits. and see if anything else spawns. Here, polar bears. So polar bears are a bit of an annoyance for this farm because they're big and they can be aggressive as well towards the player if there's a cub like there's one right now. So let's take a look at the conditions that govern polar bear spawning. And here we have the polar bear spawn rule JSON file. And as we can see here, unless they're in a frozen ocean, they don't have any block filters, so they can spawn on any solid block. They have the same light requirements as our rabbits, and they spawn in herds of 1 or 2. So now we need to find ways to automatically get rid of the rabbits, from which we will try and acquire meat and hide, and the polar bears, which we just want to kill off so that they don't hog the passive mob cap. In order to kill the rabbits, we have to find a way to lure them into a killing device. And in order to find a way to lure them, we're gonna take a look at yet another JSON file, which is the rabbit entity file. So let's open that up. And here we have the rabbit JSON entity file. And in this file, if you look at it, you will discover that rabbits have a few interesting characteristics. They'll try to flee if they're too close to a player or to some mobs such as wolves and monsters. But they also have this highlighted bit here, which is behavior raid garden. What this means is that if rabbits are in the vicinity of planted carrots, they will try to reach them in order to eat them. They will search for planted carrots in a radius of 16 blocks, and if they find carrots, they will try to run to the carrot block and reach 0.8 blocks from the planted carrots. And if they eat planted carrots, it knocks back the growth stage of carrots. So, let's go back to our Minecraft world and place a bunch of carrots around the perimeter that we created earlier. So we're gonna need a hoe. We're not gonna place the carrots right here, right next to the platform. Otherwise, well, rabbits would be able to reach the carrots. What we're gonna do is open 2 blocks, a hole that's 2 blocks wide. Here again, 2 blocks, and our carrot perimeter. Again, 2 blocks. Here. Next, we'll place a couple of waterlogged staircases along these lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our staircase would be here, and from this end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our staircase should be here. Let's grab a few staircases. Which color am I gonna make it? Well, this should be fine. And water. And we place our waterlogged staircases like so. So let's do this on this side and all the other remaining sides as well. Here we're done. So now with the hoe we'll make this farmable. Like so, and we are gonna plant carrots. And initially, as you can see here, the rabbits won't be interested in the carrots because there is a hole here. They can't reach the carrots, but we'll trick them into thinking they can reach these carrots with a very simple trick, which I'm gonna show you right now. We're just gonna use trapdoors, open trapdoors, and place a row of trapdoors on each side of the hole. Open trapdoors, of course. And as you will see, once the way is connected, our rabbits should start taking interest in our carrots. It can take some time, but here, see? And here. So I'm just gonna add trapdoors to the rest of this contraption, and we're gonna move to the next step. And here we go. We're done. And as you can see, there's one little problem here. Saw this llama that just fell down there. What this indicates us is that these blocks here are spawnable. And these are dirt, which means they're spawnable for polar bears. Rabbits can't spawn on dirt, they need grass or snow, as we saw in the JSON file, but polar bears could possibly spawn on these blocks here. So what we're gonna do is slab them. We're gonna place slabs onto these blocks so that nothing can spawn onto them. So now let's build the killing device. We're gonna use the most basic killing device that we can here. That is Magma. So let's fill a perimeter with Magma. So I did 16 to 31, so we're gonna need 14, 62, 14, to 33, 62, 33, Magma. Here. So what's gonna happen is that whenever our rabbits walk over this hole here, they'll fall down onto the magma and die pretty much instantly. We could also have a platform with water leading to a trident killer, but according to my tests, this doesn't really increase the rates at which we can get meat and hide. Actually, it's detrimental because the distance they would need to travel from, say, one of these edges here to the center where our trident killer would be quite long. So it would take them quite a bit of time to reach the trident killer. Whereas here, since rabbits don't have a lot of health points, they're gonna die pretty much instantly upon falling onto the magma block. So anyways, let's finish this perimeter. So here we are done. We've closed the gaps here around our grass perimeter. Now what we're gonna need is to place light, because as you remember, rabbits need light to be able to spawn. So in order to place light, we're gonna use glass blocks and torches, and we're gonna place them 3 high every 4 blocks. And here we're done. So this is what our almost finished farm looks like. So here we have rabbits spawning, and soon enough they should detect the carrots within their range and start running towards the carrot blocks. There. Okay. But now, as you can see, we have 2 things left to do. First is to collect the items dropped by rabbits when they die. And we're just gonna do that right now in a very easy fashion. We're gonna use rails and hopper minecarts to collect the drops. So let's just do that. And here we go. The hopper minecart is moving and collecting items, which it'll move into this chest here for us. But here's our last problem. The last thing we have to tackle here. These bears, as you can see here, they are taking the entire cap, which is 4 for passive mobs due to a bug. It should be 8, I think, but it's 4 for passive mobs. So what are we gonna do about these bears? Well, exactly like we did with our rabbits and the raid garden behavior that we found at the beginning of the video, we're gonna try and find a way to lure these bears into falling on the magma here. So in order to do that, let's move back to our JSON files and find the polar bear JSON file. So here we have it, and there are quite a bit of interesting bits of behavior that are defined in this JSON file. Bears can be very aggressive towards players if there's a cub, like I said earlier in this video, but they're also aggressive towards something else. And they are always aggressive towards that. And it's highlighted here. It's foxes. They don't need to be accompanied with a cub to be aggressive towards foxes. So what we're gonna do is take advantage of that and use a fox to lure these bears into falling into their demise. So let's do exactly that right now. And remember, they need to believe they can reach their target. So we're going to do exactly what we did here and use open trapdoors. So now we're going to place our fox, and so that the fox doesn't try and bail out of its predicament, we're going to put it on a leash. So let's spawn a fox here, put a leash, attach the leash to the fence post and push the fox. And as you can see, immediately bears detected the fox. They have a 16 block range to detect foxes. So this one just moved into the detection range and is trying to attack. Actually, we could place our fox closer. I don't believe they could reach it, and this will allow us to get rid of a few things here. So let's try again. Here, push the fox. Sorry, pal. And let's spawn a bunch of polar bears to see how they behave. Normally they should detect the fox immediately. Yeah, here. And they try to reach it. And incidentally, this could be used to make the stupidest farm ever, which would be a polar bear based fish farm, which we could make over a frozen ocean on ice. But anyways, that's for another day. So here we have our polar bears attracted to the fox, which die, and the rabbits that we were trying to farm, that supposedly should start spawning anytime soon, and move towards the carrots and die. So that's what just happens here. So this is our farm done. And after a bit of testing, I found out that this farm can make you something like 2 stacks of rabbit meat and 2 stacks of rabbit hide per hour on this design, this exact design. It's not great, but you know, usually this is not going to be your main farm. This is going to be a side farm that you build next to another farm that you actually want to AFK at, so that you can get meat for free and hide for free. So all things considered, it's not that bad. That's it for today, I think. If you have comments or questions, don't hesitate to post them in the comment section, and I hope you found some interesting bits of info in this video. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you again sometime soon. Goodbye.